All right, so you and I both have been locked into this NFL offseason, all the chatter and all.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know you mentioned, like, you're really trying to wrap your head around the quarterback stuff that's happening, all the moves,
Right.
the upcoming draft, all of it. So this is a perfect time, I think, to, like, deep dive straight into the source.
Yeah, yeah.
We had that great conversation with ESPN NFL reporter Jeff Darlington.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So what we want to do is really cut through all the speculation.
That's right.
Everyone's got an opinion, right?
Right, yeah.
So we're going straight to Darlington to give us the key insights on all these quarterback storylines.
Yeah.
Straight from someone who's really in the know.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just like some random dude on Twitter who thinks they know what's going on.
Right.
Right. You've also said that you're not just interested in like you want to understand the why behind the headlines. Right.
Yeah.
And I think Darlington's perspective is like really valuable here, right? He's talking to people in the league all the time.
Yeah.
General managers, coaches, agents,
It's plugged in. He's plugged in.
So we're going to break down his take on everything.
Yeah.
From Aaron Rodgers trying to figure out his next play to the draft prospects who are making, all the headlines.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how much is up in the air right now.
Yeah, there's some...
And I feel like we're just getting started.
Oh, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, so let's start with the biggest elephant in the room. All right, Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, feels like just yesterday we were all analyzing his trade to the Jets.
I know. It's crazy how fast things change.
Right, and now the big news is this 6-hour meeting
Oh, yeah.
he had with the Steelers.
Right.
I mean, 6 hours, that's got to mean something, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a long time.
That definitely got people talking.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Jeff Darlington weighed in on this, and I thought his take was really interesting.
Yeah, what'd he say?
He said that while Pittsburgh is definitely a possibility,
Right.
Rodgers hasn't actually signed with them yet.
Okay.
And he contrasted that with how quickly he joined the Jets last year.
Yeah, I mean, basically a done deal.
Exactly. And now he's taking his time.
Right.
So what do you think is holding things up?
Well, what Darlington suggested, and I thought this was really interesting, is that maybe this isn't just about Rodgers like weighing two different offers, you know, and just deciding which one is better.
Oh.
Like, he thinks Rodgers might be playing a bit of a strategic game.
Okay, I like that.
Like, waiting to see how the draft plays out. Like, okay, the Steelers could be a good option.
Right.
But what if I'm not 100% sold on them?
Right. Right.
And there's no real pressure from anyone to sign right now.
Right.
Like, no deadlines, no ultimatums. So why rush into anything?
Right.
When the draft could shake things up big time.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Teams' needs could change. New opportunities could emerge.
Yeah.
It's like he's keeping his options open.
Yeah.
He's waiting for the right moment to pounce.
I like that he's like a lion stalking his prey.
Yeah.
Right, waiting for the perfect moment.
But it also puts pressure on the teams, though.
Oh, absolutely.
To like make their best move to get him right before the draft if they really want him.
It's a high-stakes game of poker, right? It's like who's going to blink first.
Right.
I mean, this is what makes the offseason so much fun, right?
It's like a chess match.
Yeah.
It really is.
And information is power.
Information is king.
All right, so to your point about like not rushing into anything.
Yeah.
Darlington even threw out a couple of other potential landing spots.
Oh, interesting.
He mentioned that the Giants are still in the mix, apparently. And, Rodgers has had good experiences in New York City in the past.
Right. He's a California guy, but he likes New York.
Yeah, he enjoys the vibe, the spotlight, all of that.
Makes sense.
But Darlington didn't seem to think the Vikings were a serious contender.
Okay, so less likely there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've got Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, they seem pretty set at quarterback.
Right. So the Giants are more intriguing.
Yeah, and I think the idea of a mystery team is probably a bit overblown.
Right.
But the fact remains the Steelers aren't a done deal.
Yeah, not at all.
So there's still a lot of intrigue.
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out.
Okay, so while we wait for Rodgers to make up his mind, let's connect this to the draft, right?
Okay. Yeah.
If a team lands Rodgers, it's obviously going to have a huge impact.
Oh, absolutely.
On their draft plans.
Yeah, their whole strategy changes.
Right. But Darlington brought up something I hadn't really considered.
What's that?
He asked, does Rodgers even care about that at this point in his career?
Interesting.
Like, he's already won a Super Bowl. He's an MVP.
Right.
He's got all the accolades.
He's playing for legacy now.
Exactly. So his priority is probably winning another championship.
Right. Right now.
Right now. before he retires.
Yeah, the draft is about the future.
Exactly.
He's focused on the present.
And Darlington said that a general manager he spoke to
Okay.
still expects Rodgers to decide before the draft.
Interesting.
So even though Rodgers might be playing it cool,
Right.
there's a sense around the league that we'll know something relatively soon.
Okay, yeah.
But, isn't there a risk that Rodgers could wait too long?
It's a good question.
Like, what if teams fill their quarterback needs in the draft,
Yeah,
and then he's left with fewer good options?
right. He could lose some leverage
Right.
by not acting sooner.
It's a delicate balance, right?
Yeah, timing is everything in these situations.
And another thing Darlington emphasized, which I thought was really insightful,
Yeah.
is that there isn't really a clear circle of people, like advisors or friends,
Right.
who are swaying Rodgers' decision.
Okay.
It seems like he's really calling his own shots.
So he's going with his gut.
Yeah, which, fits his personality.
Totally. He's always been his own man.
So for all the fans out there trying to decipher every little rumor,
Right.
relying on inside sources,
Yeah, that's probably not going to help.
it seems like the only reliable information will come from Rodgers himself.
Right. Straight from the source.
Or the teams involved.
Exactly.
We just got to wait and see.
Patience, patience.
Okay, so before we move on from Rodgers, let's go back to the Giants for a second.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
Why would they even be appealing to Rodgers?
Yeah, especially in that division.
Right, they're in a brutal division.
Oh, yeah, the Eagles, the Commanders.
Yeah, it's tough.
Not easy.
But Darlington pointed to a couple of things.
Okay.
First, like we said, Rodgers has enjoyed his time in New York City before.
Right, right.
And that could be a big factor.
Yeah, at this stage of his career.
Right.
Maybe that lifestyle matters more.
Exactly. And second, the Giants apparently believe, and this is where I raise an eyebrow,
Okay.
they believe that they're just a quarterback away from being contenders.
Oh, wow.
That's a bold assessment.
Yeah, considering their record.
Right, but that's their internal perspective.
Okay, so they're optimistic.
Yeah, and Darlington suggested that they might try to sell that vision to Rodgers.
Interesting.
Convince him that he's the missing piece.
But did Darlington say why they think that, though?
Yeah, he mentioned that they've got some promising young players on offense,
Okay.
like, some talented receivers and a decent running game.
Right, so they think they have the pieces around him.
Exactly, and their defense has been pretty solid, too.
Okay, yeah.
So their logic is if they can just get the quarterback position right, they can make a real run.
I mean, it's a big if.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It's not totally crazy.
No, I mean, stranger things have happened in the NFL.
That's for sure.
Okay, so let's shift gears
Okay.
and talk about the draft.
Yeah, let's dive into the draft.
Because there's a lot to unpack.
Oh, yeah, so much talent.
One name that's been generating a ton of buzz
Okay.
is Cam Ward.
Oh, yeah, I've heard his name a lot.
And Darlington's perspective on him has really changed.
Interesting.
He said that he's now completely sold on Ward as a legit top prospect.
Oh, wow.
Which is a big shift from where he was before.
So what changed his mind?
Well, I think it's a combination of things.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ward had a fantastic season.
Right.
But then he followed that up with an impressive pro day.
Yeah, the pro days are so important.
Right, and for those who might not know, a pro day is basically,
Yeah.
it's a chance for these draft prospects to showcase their skills
Right.
in front of NFL scouts and coaches.
Yeah, it's like their final audition
Exactly.
before the big show.
So Darlington said that he's also been hearing more and more positive things from people around the league.
So it's not just Darlington, it's a consensus building.
Yeah, it seems like the consensus is that Ward is the real deal.
Okay, that's interesting.
And the big question now is, where will he land?
Right, where's he going to go?
And Darlington was pretty definitive on this.
Okay.
He said that he fully expects Ward to be drafted first overall by Tennessee.
Wow, first overall?
Yeah, no hesitation.
That's a huge statement.
And he even shared this anecdote from Ward's pro day.
Okay, I love these stories.
Oh, it's a good one. So apparently Ward throws this absolute dime of a pass.
Okay.
And then he turns to the Titans personnel, including their head coach,
Okay.
and says, "I'm solidifying you today."
Whoa.
I mean, talk about confidence, right?
Oh, yeah, that's something else.
That's not cockiness, that's just belief.
Yeah, he believed in himself.
Yeah, and I think that's something that teams really value.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about arm talent. It's about that mindset.
Yeah, that get factor.
That belief that you're going to succeed.
Yeah, that you're the guy.
So Darlington also cautioned against, like constantly comparing these young quarterbacks
Yeah.
to established NFL stars.
Right. The can he be the next so-and-so thing.
Exactly. And, you know, it's natural to look for parallels.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do.
But he stressed that we should really evaluate these players based on their own unique strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, they're individuals.
Exactly.
Not just copies of someone else.
And while he was careful not to make any grand pronouncements,
Right.
Darlington's overall analysis definitely pointed to a high ceiling for Ward.
Yeah, he seems pretty high on him.
So it'll be fascinating to see how he develops.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to watch his career.
Okay, so now let's contrast that
Yeah, okay.
with another quarterback prospect,
Okay.
Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, yeah, Dwyon's son.
Yeah, and there's no doubt he's talented.
Oh, he's got the pedigree for sure.
But Darlington didn't sense that same level of, like, strong conviction from the league about Sanders.
Okay.
So what Darlington's saying
Yeah.
is that there are still a lot of questions
Right.
about how his game will translate to the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL is a different beast.
Totally. It's a huge jump from college.
Right.
And it's not necessarily a knock on Sanders.
No, not at all.
It's just that there isn't that same level of certainty
Oh, right.
that you see with Cam Ward.
Okay, so less buzz around him.
Yeah, and Darlington said that there's still a lot of wonder
Wonder. Okay.
about what he'll ultimately be in the NFL.
Yeah, like, can he make that leap?
Exactly.
Is he a franchise quarterback?
And those are the questions that teams are trying to answer.
Right, and those answers will determine where he gets drafted.
Exactly.
And how much money he gets.
So while Sanders could end up being a great player,
Right.
right now, the league seems less sure about him.
Yeah, compared to Ward.
Okay, so let's move on to a team that's facing a truly, truly complicated quarterback situation.
Right.
The Cleveland Browns.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Darlington did not mince words.
Okay.
He straight up called their current situation a disaster.
Oh, wow. Strong words.
He even used the word purgatory.
Purgatory. Yikes.
And, you know, it's all because of the ongoing issues with Deshaun Watson.
Right, right.
A massive
Yeah,
contract.
the guaranteed money is crazy.
The injuries.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to stay healthy.
And the inconsistent performance when he's played.
Right. It hasn't been what they hoped for.
So they're stuck, right?
Yeah, they're in a tough spot.
They've got this huge financial commitment,
Right.
and they're not getting the results.
Ouch, that's a bad combo.
And to make matters worse,
Okay.
they have the second overall pick in the draft,
Right.
which you would think would put them in a prime position
Yeah, to draft a quarterback.
to fix the quarterback problem.
Right, right.
But Darlington doesn't think that's the right move.
Really? Why not?
He said it wouldn't be prudent for them to take a quarterback at number 2. That's surprising.
So why is that? Well, first of all,
Yeah.
they're already so financially tied to Watson.
Right. That contract is a killer.
Yeah, it's eating up a huge chunk of their salary cap.
Yeah. Not much room to maneuver.
And second, even if they do draft a quarterback at number 2,
Yeah.
there's no guarantee that he's going to be the answer.
Right. The draft is always a gamble.
Exactly. So they might be better off using that pick
Yeah.
to address other needs on the roster.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if not the draft, then what?
Right. What other options do they have?
Well, Darlington doesn't think free agency is realistic.
Right.
Because of their cap situation.
Yeah, they can't afford anyone good.
So they're pretty much stuck with the draft.
Okay.
But they might have to look later in the draft.
Right, not in the first round.
Yeah, which obviously carries more risk.
Oh, yeah, way more risk.
You know, finding a franchise quarterback outside the first round,
That's a tough task.
it's a long shot. It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
So the Browns are in a real predicament.
Yeah, you really feel for their fans.
Yeah, it's a tough situation.
They thought they had their answer with Watson,
Right,
and it just hasn't worked out.
and now they're kind of paying the price.
It's a reminder that these big quarterback moves,
Yeah.
they don't always pan out.
And they can have long-lasting consequences.
Absolutely.
All right, so before we wrap up,
Okay.
I wanted to touch on one more quarterback,
Okay, who's that?
Brock Purdy,
Oh, yeah, Mr. Irrelevant.
the 49ers' Cinderella story.
Right, from last pick to playoff starter.
And the question was posed to Darlington,
Okay.
within the next 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
will Purdy be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL?
Wow.
Or will he be playing for a different team entirely?
Interesting question.
So what did Darlington think?
What's his take?
Well, he doesn't think Purdy will reach that top tier of quarterback salaries.
Okay.
Like, you know, the $65 million per year guys.
Right, the Mahomes, the Allens.
Exactly. But He does believe that Purdy will sign an extension with the 49ers.
Okay, so he's staying put.
Yeah, Darlington seems pretty confident about that.
So not the absolute highest paid, but still a big contract.
Right. Which makes sense, right?
Yeah, he's proven himself.
He's shown that he can play at a high level.
Right.
And he fits perfectly into their system.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan loves him.
So the 49ers are smart to lock him up.
Absolutely, he's their guy.
Okay, so that was a lot.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
But I think we got a really good sense
Yeah.
of the quarterback landscape right now.
We did, thanks to Jeff Darlington.
Exactly. So just to recap,
Yeah.
we talked about the Aaron Rodgers saga
Right.
and all the factors that might be influencing his decision.
Yeah, he's got a lot to consider.
Then we dove into the draft,
Right.
the rising stock of Cam Ward,
He's the real deal.
the more uncertain outlook for Shedeur Sanders.
Right. Still some questions there.
And then we talked about the Browns' mess.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And the tough choices they have to make.
It's a tough situation.
And finally, we got Darlington's prediction on Brock Purdy's future.
Yeah, I think he's got a bright future.
So, all these individual stories,
Yeah.
they really highlight how complex NFL team building is.
Oh, yeah. It's not easy.
It's not just about talent.
Right.
It's about
Entertainment.
finances.
Timing.
It's a puzzle
It's a giant puzzle.
with so many moving pieces.
And the quarterback is the most important piece of all.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
So I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
Based on everything we've talked about,
Yeah.
what do you think is the riskiest move a team can make
That's a good question.
when trying to solve their quarterback problem?
Okay. The riskiest move.
Is it going all in on a draft pick,
Yeah.
trading a ton of assets for a veteran,
Right.
or trying to develop a guy who's not a sure thing?
It's a tough choice.
It really is.
Each option has its own risks.
Exactly. And I don't think there's an easy answer.
No, it depends on the team, the situation, so many factors.
So that's something for you to ponder
Yeah, something to think about.
as we head into what promises to be another wild NFL offseason.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.
All right. See ya.
All right.